Hey guys, what's up? Excuse the spooky lighting. I haven't got my my normal LED things set up right now. But I was just doing a little bit of geeky looking around actually, because since I posted my video on the Steinitz Scotch earlier on today, and I've revisited that this afternoon, and I figured out that really, if you get into the expert level, it really doesn't have legs. So I'm thinking, well, what would work better? So I've set the settings here in Leicester 2200 and 2500 only. And let me talk you through. So this is the Scotch, okay? And let me show you here what is best for black. E takes D4, 44. F5, 44. Hello. F5, Queen E7 gets 47 from 800 games, but F5, this is the Kruger Scotch. And the computer absolutely hates it. It says you've gone mad. Don't move your F pawn. And there are really two main moves played here. Knight takes E5 and E takes F5. And in each of them, black has a good chance. So let me take you through. Now actually at lower levels, E takes F5 is the most common. At 2200, 2500, them taking this pawn is the most common. So this feels a little bit like, feels very much like the Vienna Gambit response, doesn't it? But with the pawns in different places. Now, so let me take you through, and I've just done two lines here, but they are very interesting, particularly the one you're about to see. So they take here. Now, next rule is you always take a pawn at the expert level, and so we are currently equal. There's tension between the knights. Knight C3 is very, very good here. Knight takes C6 for white is very, very good here. But what does white play half the time? Slightly more than half the time? Queen H5 check. And white is still better. Clearly there is only one move here. You have to push G6. And they can play knight takes G6 because this pawn is pinned, or the queen can capture the rook. But you let them do that. And you can play knight to F6. Now, this is one for me to remember, because I get this kind of pattern a lot in the Kruger repertoire. Now, we're hitting the queen. So if knight takes rook, he loses his queen, and that's not good enough. There's only one good move here for white, and that's to bring the queen back to H4. And guess what we do now? As a spooky moth flies in front of my face, we sack the exchange. We take the knight, and 100% of the time, 203 games, every single time they take the rook. Now, white is +5 here. Stockfish has written us off already. And place your bets for the next move that we make. Because it doesn't make sense. Because it looks weird. King F7. Defending this pawn. Defending everything. The queen can't go there. The queen can't go there because it's covered by the knight. Queen can't go here because of the king. And white is up a rook. Well, is +3 right now, up an exchange and a pawn, plus our king has moved. But other than that, white's done nothing with his first 8 moves, apart from stick his queen in the corner. And you'll never guess what the most common move is. I mean, admittedly, it's only played 31% of the time, but in practically every line from here, as you can see, black is better. In fact, black wins 86% of the time. But the number one move of all, I'm going to pin your knight on your queen. Oh no, my knight, it's attacked twice, it's defended only by the royal family themselves. And pause if you need, and find the winning move for black in this position. Well done if you found bishop b4 check. Boom and bada boom. Even badder. They always play c3, and from this position it's been reached 29 times, at the expert level on Lichess. Black has never lost. I thank you. So what does this show us? This shows us that by going just on the average, I love the Lichess database. I think it's great. But going just on averages to say, okay, well, that one wins 49%, that one wins 46%, could hide all kinds of treasures that could be found within. So I think that's very interesting. Because if, I bet you, how often, let's go back to the start, right? They play the Scotch. 1.1 million of these, right? Games. 4,000 F5s out of 1.1 million. What's that? That's 4 in 1,000. That's nothing at all. F5 is played 0%. Do you get me? That is the value of playing something funky. And we see like World Championship contenders doing this to each other. Yes, it might be on move 9 or 10, but that's how deep they have to go to get one over on their opponent, to surprise them, so that they play a funky line that their opponent hasn't prepped for. Interesting. Anyway, so that's knight takes e5. After f5, knight takes e5, we know what to do. We take the pawn. Queen comes out, g6, they take. We hit the queen, she moves back to the only good square. Any other move here, and it's negative 2.3, negative whatever, right? Because we carry on and target c2, for example, yeah? She goes back here, we give up the exchange, we play king here. It's +6 here. All white needs to do is sit tight, develop his stuff, right, without going mad, and he'll be absolutely fine. Bishop d2 is the third best move. c3 is the second best move. Knight c3 is the best. But oh no, white gets overexcited and giddy and loses. So, okay, let us go on to the second most common move, which is actually more common at intermediate level. Okay, so we've got the Scotch, we have d4, we play f5. Stockfish seethes in disapproval. Now they take the pawn. This is the second most common move here. And it's very tempting here. Now, what my recommendation is actually that does better at intermediate level is to push the pawn with tempo. But it's not fantastic. Here, remember the rule we said, take the pawn. Okay, now they'll take back with the knight, and we don't develop. The normal move here is knight f6. Okay, that is the most played move, but queen f6 is very interesting. Now, the most common move again, 2/3 of the time they will capture here. It's actually a mistake. We do not take with the queen. We take with the d-pawn, as you very often do, and kind of keep your pawns together. And ideally, what we want to do is long castle and go in for the win. Okay. Most common move now, bishop d3. Kind of wanting to defend this pawn. Now we're attacking it twice, of course, anyway. And so we just continue, we take the pawn anyway. They take, we take. Right, so what's the situation? Material is actually equal. White has no development at all, but black really fancies the idea of castling. We've got completely open files on D and E. Okay, so they castle. We want to castle, but we can't through check, so we play bishop d6, blocking. They give check, we block again with the knight. They line up the queen, okay, but the queen can't be the first capturer, so just castle anyway. Okay, now, black is even slightly better here. We're not down a pawn, we've got this extra pawn here, because our d-pawn has gone there. But look, we're all ready to just line everything up, and white's development is definitely behind. So this is interesting for me. F5 does well at the high level, and if you start practicing this now, when you get to, if you get to 2000 and above Lichess rating, or 1800 and above chess.com rating, you'll be a lot better prepared than your opponent. So all hail the funky left field unorthodox opening lines. I'm re-inspired. So there you go. Ooh. Okay, end of spooky video. Thanks for watching. See you later.